Okay. Reese.
I'm eating.
This is your podcast.
I know.
Guy.
I'm almost done.
Okay. Well, we'll just sit here awkwardly while we're being recorded. Hello.
Hi.
Hola.
Welcome to Cosmic Conversations.
My name's Matthew.
And my name is Andrew. Although, also Reese.
He goes
both
by
my name.
Reese.
Both my name.
You know him as Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
What are we gonna do here today, Reese?
We're ranking the stars. Some 16 random stars that I picked. Not exactly random, but...
There's meaning.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
We're ranking them.
Be patient, Dr. Brown.
We're ranking them from S to F. S being it's a super cool star. A being like it's a pretty cool star. B being like it's a pretty average star. C being it's a kind of bad star. And F being like this is just a horrible, super boring star.
Very lame.
Yeah, that we should have never discovered ever. Which...
Yeah, it should go back into hiding.
Yeah, I wouldn't care if it supernovaed right now.
Yeah. It'd probably look cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to be clear, this is Reese's podcast for the project. I am guest star. We'll have another one that's mine.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
And that'll have a different name.
Yeah.
Probably. If that's the project you want to do.
It could just be part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So
the first star that we're gonna rate is our sun, otherwise known as Sol. So Reese, why don't you tell us about said star?
You can go ahead and move the star into the currently talking about.
Yes.
Okay, so the sun is 2 times 10 to the 30 kilograms, massive. It's exactly 1 astronomical unit away. Surprising.
That is crazy.
It's 10 billion years old, and it's a yellow dwarf in the main sequence, and it's a class G on the HR diagram, which means it's about yellow colored. And you know, a fun fact about it is our sun is the only known star in the universe to habit life. All right, so
I think that's pretty rad.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, if we found a different star that also had life with it, it might be less cool. But as it stands,
I think they'd just both be S tier.
Yeah, both be S tier. I was actually gonna say A tier because it's not like the most intriguing star, but it is perfect for life.
It is very average, yet unique.
Yeah, extremely unique.
I would not be opposed at putting it at A.
Okay, so
a fair.
Yeah,
it's valid.
It's a really good starting point with our tier list here. It's a pretty cool star. Okay, our next one is Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is 15 times more massive than the sun. It is 700 times bigger than the sun. You know, bigger as in like wider, bigger radius, and massive as in like it has more mass. Just clarifying.
Good clarification.
Yeah, and it is 520 light years away. It's 10 million years old, so it's a lot younger by a magnitude of 100 times younger than the sun. It is a red supergiant, and it is class M on the HR diagram. And it is 14,000 times brighter than the sun. It's a lot of luminosity.
Very
and the other fun fact I put on here is it will supernova anywhere from now to 100,000 plus years. And when it does supernova, it'll appear like a second moon in the sky. It'll be as bright as the night sky moon, which is actually like super cool. Can you imagine having
that would be
2
amazing.
moons?
You just don't go to bed.
I really want Betelgeuse to explode in my lifetime.
If it'd be nice if it just happened tomorrow.
Yeah, or today for that matter.
I mean, yeah, that would be nice. I feel like I could use a day to prepare for it. Get some sleep now so I can look at it at night.
Well, I mean, it won't be like a whole sun. I looked it up after we talked about it before, but it'll be like as bright as the moon.
That's
which is still crazy. It's still pretty bright because at night we'll have 2 moons, and in the day we'll probably be able to see it.
It'll definitely be present.
Yeah,
at some point.
It's very cool.
I think that automatically bumps it up like 1 notch to wherever we were gonna have it.
Yeah. It's not only that, it's a supergiant, and supergiant stars are just cool, period.
That is true.
And it's a red one.
I will say red is not my favorite color, so that's not helping.
No. I feel like red for a star is like least interesting.
Yeah.
But it also means that it's going to die very soon, even though it's only 10 million years old. And I feel like compared to other supergiants, Betelgeuse isn't as cool. So like, it'll be less cool than other supergiants. But the fact that it is going to explode and die, and it's a very close supergiant at only 520 light years away. I'd say it's a pretty good candidate for our first S tier.
I would say it would be up there. I don't know if I'd put it S. However, this is your podcast. I'd say like
Well,
A.
you know,
Nonetheless.
you're my guest. We're supposed to discuss
Well,
why.
you know, it's just. I mean, in 100,000 years when it blows up, yeah, that's an S. However, right now it's kind of just like putting us on the edge of our seats, just not being very nice. We want to see something cool in this.
Yeah, you have a good point. But if it does happen in our lifetime, it's S tier.
That's true.
If it doesn't, it's just A tier.
Let's bank on that and say S tier.
Okay. So, Betelgeuse is going in the S tier.
Okay. Next up is Rigel.
Rigel is 21 times more massive than the Sun, so this is also more massive than Betelgeuse. It is only 79 times bigger than the Sun. It is 863 light years away. It is only 8 million years old, so it's 2 million years younger than Betelgeuse. And it's also smaller by Betelgeuse because it's a little bit younger. It is a blue supergiant, and it is class B on the HR diagram. It is 47,000 times brighter than the Sun, so this is like 4 times brighter than Betelgeuse, and it's a part of a multi-star system, which I thought was a pretty cool fact to put on there.
Very interesting. What are the other stars? Do you know? In the system?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Probably like Rigel B.
That would make
Rigel
sense.
C.
That you got a good point there.
Yeah.
So, a fun fact for all the Star Trekkies out there, you know, that's me. This is the first planetary system that the Star Trek Enterprise NX-01 visited in the first episode of the series, Broken Bow Part 1 and 2. There's a fun fact.
Yeah, that's a fun Star Trek fact.
Yeah. You like Star Trek, I bet.
Probably.
How could you not?
Probably.
Dr. Brown.
Although, you know, if he was definitely more of a Star Wars guy, I would completely understand and probably much prefer that, actually. Not saying that
Well, we know it's wrong. We know
Not
that's
saying
wrong.
that Trekkies are terrible.
They're
but
just a lot cooler.
Trekkies are terrible.
No. Nuh-uh. No. We're gonna have to disagree there. Agree to disagree.
Regardless, Rigel, this is
Very bright.
very, very bright. And it is a supergiant, so in like 2 million years, this will be in the same place that Betelgeuse is right now.
It's gonna turn red?
Yeah, because it's currently blue. So like on the HR diagram, it's gonna go up like this, and then it's gonna come over here, and it's just progressing that way. As they get older, they go that way, and then they supernova and die and become either a neutron star or a black hole, depending on how massive they were. Rigel's probably gonna end up being a relatively big neutron star.
That is red.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it's part of a multi-star system is also going to give it some points.
Yeah, that's why I put it on there with the fun facts.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a blue supergiant. Blue is a super cool color for a star.
For a star.
Yeah. And it's not as close to us as Betelgeuse, but it is relatively close compared to other stars in this ranking. But it's not going to explode anytime soon.
And just looking at it, it looks to be one of the bigger stars. Well, actually, kind of mid to high in the size scale out of this list.
Yeah, I made sure to pick a lot of quite a few small ones and quite a few big ones in here, and a couple sun-sized stars. Anyways, I want to hear your ranking on this first.
S.
S tier? I can go with that. I was going to agree with you if it was either S or A tier.
Yeah, it's blue. It's very cool looking.
Yeah.
I think any star that's blue is automatically cooler than any other red star.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one, except for one of the later stars that we're talking about. But
Maybe.
I would say S tier, but below Betelgeuse. Banking on that Betelgeuse is exploding in our lifetime.
That is true. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Next up, Alpha Centauri. A.
So now we're going to go and enter into the Alpha Centauri system. So we have the Alpha Centauri A, Ptolemy, or Alpha Centauri B, and then Proxima Centauri. And the first one we're talking about is Alpha Centauri A. It's only about 1.1 times more massive than the Sun. It is 1.2 times bigger than the Sun, so just a little bit bigger. It is 4.3 light years away, and it is about 5 to 6 billion years old. It is a yellow main sequence star, and it is class G on the HR diagram. So, oh, yes, there's still more facts. Hello. Okay. It is 1.5 times brighter than the Sun, so it's quite a bit brighter, even though it's just, like, not too much bigger. And it is part of a tri-star system that is closest to the Sol system. It is the most luminous star in the Alpha Centauri system and third brightest star in the night sky. I mean, I say, like, for a yellow dwarf, third brightest that's pretty interesting. I guess
Yellow dwarf. That one looks blue.
I don't know why it's blue, but it's yellow.
Interesting. Okay, so that just took down some points for me. Definitely thought it was blue. So, I think, have you read all the facts?
I have, yeah.
Okay. So, in my opinion, I've been thinking about this. This star is very, very similar to what the Sun is in terms of, like, size. It's 1.1 times bigger. It's, or 1.1 more massive, 1.2 times bigger. You know, the only thing that's really separating it for me is the fact that it's in a trinary system, which I feel like that's just immediately bigger or like better than the Sun, you know, A tier. But now I'm starting to think, like, how cool is the Sun? It's pretty mid, other than the fact that it supports life. So,
Yeah.
I was thinking, drastic change here. A for this one. Move Sun down to B.
But we bumped the Sun up a whole tier because we know it's the only, like, as we know currently, it is the only star that supports life.
That is true.
So I was thinking probably putting Alpha Centauri A in either B. Probably maybe C tier is a stretch, but in one of those, that's what I was going to argue.
This one, Alpha Centauri.
Alpha Centauri A, yeah. I mean, it's not the closest star. It is very similar to our Sun. Now that I think about it, probably not C tier. I would be very comfortable moving this into the B tier.
See, now you've made me think about it. Trinary systems and what's the
Binary?
Binary. I was thinking secondary. That's not right. They're not as infrequent as I was thinking, right? They are pretty common.
They're pretty common.
I'm just thinking in my lonely human brain of
Yeah.
one sun. So
One moon.
Yeah, one moon. That's kind of lame. I feel like we should have more.
But it's a trinary system. Trinary is cooler than binary.
That is true.
I would say, like, if we move it into A tier, it's bottom of A tier. If we move it into B tier, it's top of B tier.
I think it could be a comfortable B.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll put this in top of B tier.
Bam.
All right. That was a lot of discussion
It
for
was.
Alpha Centauri A. Okay, our next one.
It's your job to read it.
Yeah, Ptolemy. We're talking about Alpha Centauri B. You gotta move it up there.
Yes.
That's not its actual color, by the way. It's a yellow dwarf. Just in case you were getting your hopes up again. Ptolemy is Ptolemy is 0.9 times as massive as the Sun, 0.9 times as big as the Sun. It is 4.3 light years away, 6.5 billion years old. It is an orange main sequence and it's class K on HR diagram. It is only half as bright as the Sun, and it is part of the tri-star system, trinary system that is closest to the Sol system.
This is just lamer than Proxima A.
Yeah, and it's smaller than the Sun, so it's also
Only half as bright. What's it doing?
like way lamer. I feel like Ptolemy is a really boring star because orange. There aren't a lot of orange dwarfs on this tier list, but that doesn't stand out because then it's between like the lowest of lows and like the middest of mids.
Yeah, I'd be fine with putting this at like C.
Yeah, I'm definitely comfortable with that because it's like not the most extremely boring thing. I would probably care if it blew up right now.
It's just a less interesting.
Yeah.
Group of 3.
Yeah. One thing that definitely supports it a lot is that is in a trinary system that is Alpha Centauri.
Yes.
Okay. Our last star in the Alpha Centauri system is Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri is only 10% as massive as the Sun, 10% as big as the Sun. It is 4.2 light years away, so it's the closest star. It is 4.9 billion years old. It is a red dwarf in the main sequence, and it is class M on the HR diagram. Some fun facts is it is part of the trinary system that is closest to the Solar System, and it is the closest star to the Solar System, period, currently.
Isn't Proxima? Proxima's not the North Star, right?
No.
No.
That's Polaris.
Polaris, that's right.
Yeah. Which is also on this list, but spoilers.
Can't wait.
Proxima Centauri.
It sounds like an even lamer version of
Ptolemy. It is extremely lame, but it is also the closest star to the Sun.
That is true.
I feel like.
However, I don't know how that's going to affect our rating on how cool it is.
I would say if it wasn't close to us, I would probably put this in F tier because it's super boring and super common. But the thing is, it is the closest star that isn't the Sun.
So you're saying that's probably where we're going to go first?
I would say probably bump it up to C tier here.
Okay. I'm low, bottom C.
Yeah, very low C tier, but
it's hanging on the edge going into F.
Yeah.
Dangling by a thread.
The only red dwarf that will probably place in the C tier.
Yes.
Okay. Next star is VY Canis Majoris. This is 40 times as massive as the Sun, 1,420 times bigger than the Sun. Huge star. Very
large.
4,892 light years away. It is 8.2 million years old. It is a red hypergiant, and it is class M on the HR diagram. And hypergiant would just mean that it's a super, super big supergiant.
That is very large.
Yeah. Some facts is it is 300,000 times brighter than the Sun, and it's a hypergiant.
Yeah, I like on this Google Doc we're looking at, your fun fact for it is it's a hypergiant.
Yeah, it's just a hypergiant. That is automatically cool. That is automatically cool.
Let's see, how far is it?
It is really, really far away. It's not the furthest star on this list, I don't think.
It's crazy that
it's not the furthest.
We can even see it from here, though. That's just how big it is, right?
It is 300,000 times brighter than the Sun.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Immediate S tier. It's just
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see why it could be anywhere else.
Yeah.
Where on this? I think it's below the blue one.
Below the blue one? Because it's red?
Yeah.
But it's way bigger than the blue one, and it's twice as massive as the blue one.
That's true.
So, in its lifetime, it definitely was blue.
Yeah, fine. We'll
move it right above Rigel.
They're tied.
They're tied?
Yeah.
Okay. So, VY Canis Majoris and Rigel are tied. I can sit with that. Okay. The next star we're talking about is Arcturus. This is a similar mass to the Sun. It is 25 times bigger than the Sun. It is only 37 light years away. It is 7.1 billion years old. It's a red giant, and it is class K on the HR diagram. It is 110 times brighter than the Sun, and there's nothing really super interesting on it.
I love the notes on this one.
Again.
It's just a star.
It's a red giant. It's like the Sun's older brother from the future.
Sun times 25 in size.
Yeah, it's like the Sun's twin brother from the future.
Interesting.
Because it's red giant already. Oh no, I feel like
it is pretty lame. It's
red giants are pretty boring. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah. I mean, it has giant in the name.
Yeah, it does have giant in the name, but it's not a super giant. It's just a
No.
regular giant.
I'm thinking this might be our first F.
F tier? F tier for Arcturus, huh?
Yeah.
I was gonna say like C tier, above Proxima Centauri. Because it's definitely cooler than a red dwarf.
That one's Proxima Centauri, right?
That one.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Man. I mean, your own notes on this say it's pretty boring.
It is pretty boring. And it has way less fun facts than Proxima Centauri.
I think Proxima Centauri, it was in a trinary system. Is this one in a trinary system just by itself?
Not that I know of, no.
This one was hanging by a thread and it had two other friends.
Yeah.
I think it should be an F.
Okay, yeah. We'll put Arcturus in F tier. You've swayed me. Okay, next one. Bernard star. It is 10% as mass as the sun. It is 20% as big as the sun. It is 6 light years away, so pretty dang close. It is 10 billion years old. It is a red dwarf in the main sequence, and it is class M on the HR diagram. And again, there's nothing super interesting about it.
I swear I've heard Bernard star somewhere, though.
It is a very uniquely named star.
Yeah.
But that's because it was uniquely discovered.
Do you know the story behind it?
No. It's one of the only red dwarfs. I don't know if you can even see the star with the naked eye. You forgot to move it up into the currently talking about.
Literally, as soon as you said that, I just looked it up. It said it's too faint to be seen with the naked eye.
Okay.
It can be observed with a telescope, obviously.
That's interesting.
10 billion years old, around. Yeah, it's... Hello. What was that? The planet? Oh, there's a planet orbiting it. It's probably frozen. A planet.
Probably Pluto.
Yeah, I mean, it's not coming up with anything interesting.
No. Okay. I mean, in terms of...
It's in the constellation... Ophiuchus? Oh, what's that?
Ophiuchus? I don't know.
Lame.
Yeah.
Lame constellation.
Yeah.
Lame star. I think this one might be below
Arcturus.
It isn't. It is a. Oh wait.
Yeah, that one.
It still does look pretty cool, but.
Yeah. And it's.
I think
would
that
say
might just be the picture though.
In comparison to other red dwarfs, it is cooler than them because it's bigger.
The size comparison definitely doesn't say that, but however.
Yeah, it does. So
or at least
this says
your picture that you've given us. It is definitely the smallest one there.
No.
But I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote it here in the doc, so.
Okay.
Okay. Our next one is Wolf 359.
Yes.
Yeah. So this one is 10% is massive, 10% is big as the sun. It is 8 light years away. It is more than a billion years old, or less than a billion years old. We don't actually know the exact number, but it's less than a billion years old. It is a red dwarf in the main sequence, and it is class M on the HR diagram. And it's the only cool facts I have on here. It's actually pretty young, cosmically speaking, in terms of red dwarfs. It's a lot younger than a lot of the other main sequence stars we have on here.
Indeed, I have.
And it has a cool name.
It does have a cool name.
Naming a star Wolf is pretty cool.
It is, and once again, for the Star Trek fans of this podcast, the one of us, Wolf 359, the Battle of Wolf 359, where the Borg started their invasion of Earth, and we sent a fleet to stop them, and they all died. Rest in peace. Yeah. We continue.
Yeah, I think this might be F tier.
What?
Wolf? Yeah.
I like Wolf.
I mean, it's a
Star
red
Trek,
dwarf.
but it's Star Trek.
But it's a red dwarf. I mean, the only thing it has really going for it is it's a cool name.
I mean, that's good enough.
It is
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
bigger than Bernard
C
star.
tier. Lowest C tier.
Lowest C tier.
It's got even less of a thread than Proxima Centauri.
Okay, I can deal with that. Okay, you owe me some now.
Fine.
Okay, now we're talking about the Sirius system, which includes Sirius A and Sirius B. Now, Sirius A, first one on there.
Yes.
It is
Cool looking.
2 times as massive as the sun. It is 1.7 times bigger than the sun. It is 9 light years away. It is 230 million years old. It is a blue main sequence star, and it is class A on the HR diagram. It is 25 times brighter than the sun, and it is the brightest star in the night sky.
I thought Polaris was.
No, Sirius is.
Interesting.
Polaris is up there. But, I mean, you think for like a blue star that's only 9 light years away, like this is barely over twice the distance as Alpha Centauri. And it's brighter than everything else in the night sky.
It is cray-cray.
Yeah. And it's a blue main sequence star. Like, those are really cool.
Those are all benefits to
Yeah.
this going towards the A tier. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I would say this is a pretty good A tier. I don't know if it's cooler than the sun though.
Like, it doesn't have life, but it's blue.
Yeah,
So
it is blue. But like, if the sun was blue, can you imagine like
that'd
what
be
we
so
would
much
see?
cooler.
I know, but everything would be blue. We wouldn't have any like reds or
That's fine.
oranges or yellows. I don't know. I would be kind of upset with that.
Do you think, like, alright, the sun was blue, so we wouldn't have the reds and oranges or whatever.
If the sun was blue, then
Wait, no, we would have those, right? Because it's the red shifting. Like, when it hits the electrons, they slow down. So we'd have reds and oranges. The photons.
I mean, like, if we changed the sun as it stands right now to blue, there like nothing would be red outside.
Oh, wait, yeah, no, I was thinking about that wrong.
Yeah. But
So
like,
what if... Okay, sun was blue.
yeah,
We made a light bulb for the first time. Would we be able to see the red? Because, like, would
So,
we have evolved to
it's-
see it?
that's really the question, because it's like we can't see infrared and we can't see we can't see infrared light, and
Can't
we
really
can't see
anything other than visible light.
ultraviolet light. That's what the other one I was thinking
Yeah.
of. If it was a blue star, if the sun was a blue star, I believe in creation theory, so I believe that, the sun was perfectly designed to be yellow. But hypothetically, if the sun was blue and we evolved through that, we would probably see further into the ultraviolet spectrum and see a completely different set of colors if we were to see it all.
But, like, I wonder if those... Like, because we evolve traits like sight to help us be able to hunt and, like, find stuff. So, like, in terms of evolution, it's pretty lazy. It's not going to do something unless we don't need it. Why would we need to see that still? So I'm wondering if it would just be, like, shades of blue that we'd be seeing. Because, like, here, we don't need ultraviolet to survive.
Well, we're thinking, like, if we changed our brain, if we, like, imprinted our brains onto this hypothetical situation and saw the world as we did, we do now.
But think about it. Like, I assume everything's still gonna...
Because we don't know what the colors would be like.
Like, there's no animals right now that are only visible in ultraviolet. Right?
No.
So I'm wondering if they'll still not be in the ultraviolet range, and then we'll only see the blues. Because we'll only need to see the blues.
Yeah. I mean, if the star was, like, dimmer, then we'd be able to see ourselves.
Oh.
Because we would probably be able to see infrared light. And we as humans emit infrared light. But I don't know.
These are all good questions.
It was a really big tangent.
Very big tangent.
Anyways, Sirius is definitely an A tier.
Yeah. We'll go below the sun.
Yeah.
The sun is relatively unique.
It's really, really unique. Okay, our next star, Sirius B.
That's this one.
Yep. It is a similar mass to the sun. It is 0.01 times as big as the sun, so it's only 1% the size. It is 9 light years away. It is 230 million years old, and it is a white dwarf star, and it is class D on the HR diagram. 230 million years old does not seem right at all. I feel like it should definitely be older if it's a white dwarf.
I feel like it should be as well.
Yeah.
You continue talking. I'll look it up.
I already looked it up. Like, that's the information I put in here. So its diameter is smaller than Earth's. It was once
it says
a blue
4.6 billion.
4.6.
Oh wait, no. Now it's saying 120. Hold up. Continue talking. I'll continue researching.
It was once a blue main sequence star, like its sister star, Sirius A. So, I feel like the fact that it was blue main sequence is pretty cool.
That is cool.
And it's a white dwarf. It's our first white dwarf star.
Yeah, it says 124 million. You're right. So, it must have just been a very, very big star to start, right?
Yeah, it must have been pretty massive at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, like probably definitely bigger than Sirius. So greater than 2 times the mass of the sun.
I mean, it had to go pretty quickly, so I was thinking like supergiant or something.
No, it was definitely not a supergiant. Supergiants die in like only tens of millions of years.
Okay.
This one lasted. This one lasted hundreds.
I don't know.
I'd say it
was
have been
large.
Pretty close. Yeah,
large.
It must have been pretty close. Yeah, I think for a white dwarfs are really interesting stars, like dead remnants.
I thought they were kind of lame though. They never seemed to be doing much.
But it's a white star. It's blue, white. It's like
was blue.
I mean, some white dwarfs are still technically blue, because they'd be in like class A. This one is class D, so this is like an older white dwarf. But younger white dwarfs are definitely more blue.
Where do you want to put it?
I feel like this would be pretty comfortable in B tier. Probably under Alpha Centauri A.
Okay. I can live with that.
Okay.
I also did agree to give you some leeway.
Yeah.
It is your podcast after all.
Okay. Our next one is Altair. Altair is 1.8 times more massive than the sun. It is 2 times bigger than the sun. It is 17 light years away. 1.2 billion years old. It is a blue main sequence star in class A on the HR diagram. It is 10 times brighter than the sun, and there's nothing super interesting about it. It is relatively close for a star.
It is.
But it is also smaller than Sirius A.
So yeah, I was just looking at that.
I wouldn't put it like anywhere above Sirius A. It's definitely below Sirius A.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So I think with Altair, because like there's nothing incredibly interesting about it, I'd say like high B tier makes sense. Put it at the top of it.
Yeah.
B tier.
It's an interesting picture you got. It doesn't really look like a star.
No, I don't know what that picture came from, but it's more interesting than, having...
Wait, no. Go over. There, okay. Wait, no.
Yeah, it's supposed to be...
There we go.
Okay, there we go. We got it. I mean, did you have anything to say about Altair?
I mean, it's blue. There's not much else to say.
I mean, it's not incredibly boring.
Yeah.
In terms of boring stars, it's definitely one of the least boring.
I think just in terms of us seeing the sun every day, every blue star is very interesting.
Yeah, way more interesting than it could be. All right. Our next one is Deneb. It is 200 times more massive than the sun. Deneb.
It's from Star Trek too.
Okay. 200 times bigger than the sun. 2,616 light years away. It is 10 million years old, a blue supergiant, and class A on the HR diagram. It is 196,000 times brighter than the sun. And other than that, there's not much else about it.
I feel like the farther away they get, there's going to be less to say about them.
Probably, yeah.
Simply because they are so far away.
Yeah.
Hard to observe. It's blue.
It is blue. Yeah, and it's a supergiant, and that's
blue
cool.
Supergiant, yes.
Supergiants are cool. I feel like its name is a little interesting, but nothing that isn't boring.
Yeah,
So
it's a mid-name, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a mid-name. It's not terrible. It is really bright. Really bright star.
To say the least.
Yeah. Would I say it is cooler than Rigel, though?
Which one of these pictures is Rigel?
Rigel is the bottom of S tier right now.
Bottom, that one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is Deneb cooler than Rigel?
I don't know. I don't think
It's brighter by a lot of magnitude.
It's true.
Because I'm debating, like, if we said it wasn't as cool as Rigel, then we put this at the top of A tier. What if it's cooler than, it goes under...
Yeah, it's quite a
Under
conundrum.
Beetlejuice, yeah.
Let's see. It's smaller in mass than Rigel, just barely.
Yeah, it is
also
brighter.
But it's also almost, like, what's that, 50 times bigger than Rigel?
Yeah, it is quite bigger.
Yeah.
Which I guess would say it is a bit older. It is 2 million years older.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
I feel like they're really close. I feel like the picture... Oh, wait, no, I keep looking at the wrong one. The picture isn't helping, though. I'm going to be honest.
I mean, it is really far away.
It is. Yeah.
It's really, really far away. But it is a really bright star. I'm pretty sure you can see this one with the naked eye. Simply because it's just so dang bright.
Yeah, I think we can put this one, like... I feel like it might be, like, high A above the sun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's...
I feel like if we had a better picture, we might be able to judge it more on its coolness.
Tier list is really smooth right now.
It is.
Okay, our next one. Polaris. Polaris is 4.5 times more massive than the sun. It is 50 times bigger than the sun. It is 448 light years away, 70 million years old. It is a yellow supergiant. I thought it was blue. It's yellow, and it is class F on the HR diagram. It is 2,500 times brighter than the sun, and it is Earth's current northern hemisphere pole star, and is part of a trinary star system.
It's that way, relative to us. Over there, it's north.
Yeah. Well, relative to us, I mean, we don't know where Dr. Brown is right now.
Yeah, well, in this room with the camera facing that way and us facing that way, north is that way.
Yeah,
Just a
Polaris
heads
is
up.
somewhere. It's over there, somewhere.
I think it's pretty cool. You
And
can
it's
use it
also
for
part of a
navigation.
trinary star system.
That does help.
Yeah.
Yes. Didn't think it'd be yellow.
I know.
mean, I never thought about it, but the picture definitely made it look blue.
Yeah, and
It's a cool picture, though.
it is a really cool picture. It's super pretty. The thing is, like, when you look at it at night, too, it doesn't even look yellow. It looks way more blue than yellow.
I mean, they all kind of look white at night.
I mean, you can kind of differentiate the colors of stars with the naked eye. Like, I know some people can definitely see it better than others, but you can even tell how red Mars is when you can see it.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen Mars.
Really?
I've just looked up and seen it. Can you see Mars with the naked eye?
Yeah.
Dang.
You can see.
Well, I probably have. I just didn't realize it was
Didn't
Mars.
realize you were looking at a planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to buy a telescope. We'll save
That'd
the
be cool.
tangent.
We can ask Dr. Brown if we can use his.
Dr. Brown, can we use your telescope, please? I know you'll listen to this.
Yeah, I feel like for Polaris, it's
I think it's an S.
it is an S tier.
Where on the S tier, though? I feel like the fact that it's been used for navigation,
Yeah,
that's definitely putting it up there.
I want to put this right under Beetlejuice, honestly.
I don't think I'd be opposed to that.
Yeah, because I think like in terms of like if it wasn't the Polestar, this would be under Rigel, but like the fact that it is a Polestar and we have been
It's
looking at
important
it,
to our history.
incredibly important to our history. Like as stars go, it is probably it might be just as important as the sun, not just as important. In terms of stars, it's the sun that's the most important, and then I would say probably Polaris.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Last but not least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely not least. It's definitely the most.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, autumn. Okay, so this is Stevenson 218. Its exact mass is unknown because it's so far away and relatively newly discovered. But it is 2,150 times bigger than the sun, and it is a whopping 19,570 light years away. It is 2 million years old, so it's really, really old. 20 million years old, so it's really old for a supergiant. It is a red hypergiant, and it is class M on the HR diagram. It is 440,000 times brighter than the sun, and it is the current known biggest star that we have ever observed.
Very large, very cool.
Huge star.
Is the reason why we don't know the mass is because we don't know the composition, I assume?
I really don't know, actually. I didn't do too much research on it. I just know it's big.
Very large.
Yeah, it's bigger than VY Canis Majoris by quite a huge margin. Just looking at, yeah.
I mean, Deneb was 200 times bigger. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
1420. Yeah. Biggest by
Scroll too far down.
a bit.
Quite a bit. Like
Only 1,000.
only exactly 1,000 times. Wait. Yeah. Wouldn't it be just like twice as big?
Yeah, twice as big.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Immediately
Whatever.
top of S tier. Like
Really?
I don't know.
I feel like it doesn't affect me. It's like one of those fun facts you hear, like, oh, that's really cool, and then you forget about it 5 minutes later.
That's a good point. Although, like, with astronomy, like, I like stars too much. I am not going to forget that Stevenson 218 is
That's fair.
the biggest star.
I feel like definitely for a star observer, this would be an important one. Can you see this one with the naked eye?
No.
Okay, it's just that far.
It's that far away. But it is ginormous and really, really bright. Yeah. So, judging that Betelgeuse does explode in our lifetime, I would say...
Yeah, I think Betelgeuse has to stay at the top.
Yeah. And then this one goes right under.
That's fair.
Is it cooler than Polaris, though? I want to say no. I
think the usefulness of Polaris outweighs the largeness.
Yeah, so
Polaris
put
above?
Put Stevenson right above the other hypergiant.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's the
end of the first episode of the podcast.
Yeah, so in the S tier we have Betelgeuse, and then Polaris, Stevenson 218, VY Canis Majoris, and then Rigel. And in A tier we have Deneb, the sun, and that one is Sirius, brightest star in the night sky. And then in B tier we have Altair, Alpha Centauri A, and then Polaris B. Sirius B. That was Sirius B. And then in C tier we have Ptolemy, and then that is Proxima Centauri, and then Wolf 359, And then in F tier, we have Arcturus and Bernard star.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.